digital arena, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Basketball in March.
The Donut Bag presented by The Sportscast.
The Donut Bag, hosted by Joey Toscano. And here's your host, Joey Toscano.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Donut Bag Podcast, part of the Sportscast Network. Welcome to everybody joining us live. If you want to, I already see people coming. It always blows me away that I have a theme song, an intro video, and now we have live viewers. It's I just love that we have this interactive part to the podcast. Love it. Welcome to everybody joining us live. If you want to join in on the conversation, join us on the YouTube channel. And while you're there, please like and subscribe. I believe there are other ways to comment. I'm not sure. I got to check it out if I could comment on Twitter or something, because that would be cool, because I think most people are watching this on Twitter. So hi everybody. But yeah, please join in the conversation, because I am flying solo once again. I think this is 4 weeks in a row or something like that. I'm starting to think maybe nobody wants to talk to me or something. I don't know, but all your comments are welcome. I want to do a couple shout outs before we get started. One of them is for the person who I'm usually talking to every week, and that is Darren. He's not feeling great, so I want to send thoughts and prayers. Darren, get well soon. Hope you have a quick recovery. And second one is and usually I'm wearing Steelers gear, but for today I'm wearing Leeds United gear because they just got promoted to the Premier League. Now you probably don't care, and this is a team that's in the English Championship League, which is the league below the Premier League. And but what they do in soccer leagues in Europe, and I'm sure everywhere, is they have different leagues, and you have higher leagues and lower leagues, and they have promotion and relegation. So if you're in the top league and you suck and you're in the last place, you get relegated to a lower league. But if you're in the lower league and you have one of the top spots, you get promoted to a higher league. I think that is so cool. I wish American sports would have something like that, because then there would be stakes to when you suck, and people and teams wouldn't tank. You really can't do that in pro football unless you had a lot more teams or something like that, or if you just reduce the main NFL league to like 20 teams or something like that, and made it like a lower league or something. So maybe that's something that could happen in the future, but it probably won't. I guess it could happen in baseball if you took away the minor league affiliations and just had everybody be an independent league. That would be kind of cool. It would be cool to see the Pirates get relegated because they suck all the time. Maybe that would shame them into actually having a good team. You could probably do that in basketball, maybe, but there's that's maybe hockey. You could do the same thing, maybe. But where I really think that you should have super like different tiered leagues is in college football. There's plenty of teams in college football, and I think it would solve the problem of a lot of what's going on in college football right now. Right now, you have it's just madness with the conferences. I don't even want to talk about the NIL stuff, but with the conferences, they're just a joke. The Big Ten has like 20 teams. The Big Ten also is supposed to be a Midwest league, and they have teams in California. The ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, has teams in California. It's the dumbest thing. So stop with all these leagues things and conferences, and just have like a super conference of like 20 teams or something like that. Let's make it 24 teams in a super conference, and they would get the most money. and it would be all the best teams, and then you would have promotion and relegation. The worst teams in the top league would go down to a smaller league, and everybody would play each other, and there's something like that. But my goodness, the college football is just a mess right now, and I mean, let's just call it what it is. It's just a minor league for pro football that pro football doesn't have to pay, but still. But anyway, Leeds United, they were in the championship league, and they what they do is the top 2 teams in the league get automatically promoted, and then teams 3 through 6 fight it out in the playoffs for that final spot. Leeds United last year, they were in 3rd place. They went to the and they made it to the final game to determine who gets that 3rd spot, and they lost. So it's just really cool. It's just really cool. I also think it's funny that they, on their jerseys, now this is an old jersey. The one I got back there is a newer one. They have their Red Bulls or sponsor, but on soccer jerseys, the main thing is the sponsor is advertising. And then this little thing right here, where are we? This little thing right here, you see the Leeds United logo. So anyway, I've been a fan of Leeds United for about 7 years now. It's funny how that happened, because it was actually a Twitter friend, Kay Davo, who was in England and got Pittsburgh Sports, Root Sports Pittsburgh, and so she became a fan of the Pirates and Penguins, and then so so it was kind of like a sports exchange. Like she kept talking about the Pirates and Penguins, and then and she would go on and on about this Leeds United, and so me and some other people, looked into it and followed them. The Leeds United is kind of the equivalent of like the Washington football team in terms of how they've been doing. They used to be really good, and they fell on hard times, and now they're coming back again. But they are in the Premier League, and it is the coolest thing. It is the coolest thing to and there's only a couple more games, and they might win the championship of the Championship League, and it's really cool. So congratulations to Leeds United. By the way, if you want to watch soccer games in the Pittsburgh area, there's a place in Lawrenceville called the Pitch on Butler. That is an awesome place that has soccer games. I know there's also Piper's Pub in the South Side, but it is cool. It's my wife uses it as an excuse on a Saturday morning to drink, so that's why she's a soccer fan. But it is so cool on a Saturday morning to see a pub packed with people, and they're all watching different games. So whatever's going on, just a random group of people are just start cheering and screaming all at once and stuff like that. It's a really cool atmosphere. It's like not everybody's watching one game. Everybody's watching like 5 or 6 games or something like that. It's a really cool atmosphere. Anyway, all right, on to the business of the Steelers. So what happened in the past week? Well, the big thing is we finally heard from Aaron Rodgers. He appeared on the Pat McAfee show, and he, I guess, wanted to set the record straight, which I think he made things more confusing than they're more clear. He said, quote, "I'm in a different phase of my life. I'm 41 years old. I'm in a serious relationship. People in my inner circle battling difficult stuff. To make a commitment to a team is a big thing." He basically said he's not committed to anything, and there's no timetable and all this gobbledygook. So then what? So that sent Steelers fans in a frenzy, and the consensus among Steelers fans and commentators is, man, this dude does not want to play football. He sounds closer to retirement than playing for the Steelers. At no point in his interview, did he say, I'm going to play for the Steelers? He mentioned the Steelers. He mentioned that he visited the Steelers. He had nice things to say about Tomlin. He had nice things to say about the organization. He mentioned playing with DK Metcalf and how that went well. And DK Metcalf's a good dude. Okay, cool. But he didn't say anything about, and he easily could have said, okay, now I'm going to play for the, when this is all done, I'll go play for the Steelers. Nah, didn't give a timetable. Some people, myself included, speculated, well, he's gonna make an announcement like before the draft to get maximum attention or something like that. So, but that doesn't look to be the case. So maybe he's doing this to get out of OTAs. Maybe, I don't know. Nobody knows what's going on with this dude. But it seems like the consensus amongst fans is he's really not interested in playing football. He's thinking about everything else but football, his inner circle and his relationship and all this stuff. So it didn't sound like he was very committed to playing football. So that led to speculation by me that now the Steelers aren't sure what he's going to do, so now they have no choice but to draft a quarterback in the first round. But from what I hear, what Aaron Rodgers said, according to the Steelers organization, what Aaron Rodgers said had no bearing on it didn't change the Steelers' plans at all. They expected this. Apparently, he was in communication with the Steelers. I guess he told them all this stuff. And from what we've seen from the from the comments the Steelers, Mike Tomlin and Rooney made, it seems very much like they're expecting to have Aaron Rodgers. Okay, but when? When they asked Mike Tomlin what kind of timetable, he mentioned something about training camp. Really? You're going to wait till July to bring this guy in? Whatever, man. Whatever. But the question is anything Aaron Rodgers doing going to affect their draft plans? I'm hearing conflicting things. I'm hearing that they're definitely, no matter what happens with Aaron Rodgers, who cares? He's a temporary guy anyway. He's just here for 1 year. So whether he's here or not, who cares? He's not going to affect their plans long term. But what I'm also hearing is that maybe they will take a quarterback in the first round. Maybe they will take Shedeur Sanders. And to me, I have a lot of problems with that. First of all, from what I'm hearing, the reason why they think they're going to get Shedeur Sanders is because they didn't think he would be available. The Steelers thought that he would go way before the Steelers drafted 21. Because all those mock drafts, all the talk was it was Cam Ward 1 and then Shedeur Sanders like 2 or 3, and being drafted second or third in the draft. And now we're hearing that a lot of teams are going to pass on Sanders. Okay. And then, so the Steelers at 21 could grab him. This drives me crazy. So the Steelers a few years ago needed a quarterback, and there was a quarterback available, and they didn't think he would fall to them, and he did. I believe that was the 22nd pick in whatever the 2022 draft. They got Kenny Pickett. And to me, this feels like the same thing, Kenny Pickett all over again. There are many teams in the league that are desperate for a quarterback. And if those teams pass on a certain quarterback, don't you think that should say something? Don't you think that should say, hey, there might be some red flags with this guy? So for the Steelers to take a guy that a lot of teams have passed on, to me, that's Kenny Pickett all over again. And let me just read what Daniel Jeremiah said about Sanders. It's not like he's the worst person, but there's just I've heard him compared. What was the comp I heard him? Geno Smith. Geno Smith is nice, but he's not. That's what you want for your first round quarterback. You want somebody that's just okay. I don't know. Okay. Sanders is a slightly undersized quarterback with outstanding touch accuracy and toughness. He operates out of the gun and crisp with his footwork setup. When he has time and space in the pocket, he throws from a strong platform, showcasing a compact, smooth delivery. Blah, 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 blah. He relies more on timing and anticipation than pure velocity. He isn't a sudden twitchy movie or when pressured, and that's part of the reason why he took so many sacks over the past 2 seasons. But the main culprit of that was poor protection. Despite taking some hellacious hits, he hangs in the pocket and doesn't drop his eyes to see the rush. Well, that's good. His toughness is unquestionable. Overall, Sanders doesn't have elite size, arm strength, or athleticism, but he could find success in an offense based on timing and ball placement. What? That's who you want in your first round pick? Someone that doesn't have elite size, arm strength, or athleticism? That has disaster written all over it. My goodness. If that's how they go, I'll just be shaking my head. I am not a fan of that. If they do draft Sanders, but if they don't get Sanders, most likely what they'll do is get a defensive tackle, and from the defensive tackles, there is Derek Harmon from Oregon. There's Walter Nolan from Ole Miss. There is Kenneth Grant from Michigan, and I think those are the 3. So, and I think of those 3, if I were to put them in order, I'd say I think they want Grant first, Harmon second, and Nolan third. So I think most likely that's who they're going to end up drafting. I just can't see the Sanders thing happening. I just can't believe they're going to take a quarterback, especially since all the plans are for get the big quarterback next year. So who knows? Very small chances wide receiver, very small chance they'll in the first round. Most likely the way it's going to go is defensive tackle first round, running back third round, quarterback fourth round, something like that. Now that depends on if they try to trade into the second round, which they probably are. So I could see them trading back, but if you trade back, and I'm not sure what you'll probably get, like an extra fourth rounder or something like that. So you'd have to use some draft picks to trade up to move up into the second round. So we'll see. But we're finally 3 days away from the draft. We've been talking about it for about 3 months now, and it's just getting so old. So I'm so glad that it's finally happening. I'm excited. I think there's going to be a lot of questions as to where players go. There always is. There's always surprises. I think it's going to be very interesting. I think there's a lot of uncertainty, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. All right. That's all I got. Yeah. All right. I guess we'll keep it short and sweet this time. So I'll probably be on. Thursday nights, commenting on the draft. So doing a live thing on the draft. And yeah, that's it. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you later.